Hey guys, Carlz0r here, and today we're going to be taking a look at One Finger Death Punch. This game actually really surprised me, because when I first saw it on the Steam store, I thought it looked kind of boring. I was thinking, it looks like you're just kind of hitting two buttons and not having a whole lot of interaction with what's going on screen. But when I actually started playing it, it really surprised me. While it is true that there are only two buttons that you hit, to attack left and attack right, you can't really move aside from the movement that your attacks actually give you, you're able to have a lot more influence than I thought about what happens on screen. This game is so chaotic that I can't actually play it and talk about it at the same time very effectively, so I had to do my commentary in post-production, meaning I'm recording it now after I've recorded the video of the gameplay. So one thing that I wanted to try to elaborate on here is that you're not just standing in the middle of the screen and hitting buttons like a rhythm game to attack enemies to the left and to the right. It may seem that way at first, but you're actually able to move yourself around the stage slightly by attacking. By timing your hits correctly, you can find more effective ways to take out the enemies on screen. Like in the case of this death ball thing, that thing is actually run on kind of a physics engine. It bounces around the stage, and if you attack it while it's in range, it bounces towards your foes and kills them in one hit. That's important because certain enemies are able to either block or dodge an attack, or when you engage them in combat, they kind of go into this brawling mode where you have to hit a series of buttons in the correct order fast enough in order to take them out. By using a death ball or a ranged weapon like a bow or throwing knives, you're able to negate their ability to dodge or block, making it easier to get a perfect score on the stage. Occasionally you'll have special levels, like this one, which gives you a special lightsaber weapon throughout the entire match, and it kind of changes the way the game flows a little bit. These levels seem to be all about kill streaks, because as you'll notice, there's really no dodging or blocking enemies. That can make levels like this just a touch less interesting, but I mean, it still makes you feel like a badass when you're playing through it. And I think that's where this game is really strong. I mean, you could argue that in some ways the game kind of plays itself a little bit, but it really does make you feel like you're doing really awesome stuff just by hitting a couple of simple buttons on the controller, or on your keyboard. Your performance on a level is scored in two ways. The medal that you're given is how many times you missed during combat. 0 to 3 misses is gold, 4 to 6 misses is silver, anything above that is either bronze or no medal. A miss, by the way, is when you try to attack an enemy that's not within range. You'll know something is in range or not because the little bars down below your feet will light up. The other way you're scored is on whether you were perfect in a stage or not. Being perfect just means that you never got hit. You get a hit either by failing to attack an enemy that got close to you, or by missing, leaving yourself open to attack. The stage that you're seeing right now, that I'm almost finished with, is a boss fight. This boss is unique in that he can take a whole bunch of hits, but he keeps on changing between whether he is a dodging type enemy or a blocking type enemy. Blocking enemies are green, and you just have to remember to hit them twice instead of just once. Dodging enemies are in blue, and with those you'll have to attack in the direction that they're in, and then remember to attack behind you because they'll dodge and get around behind you. Unless, of course, you have something that can take them out in one hit, like a death ball, which I was able to use that one a little bit there, but I didn't manage to keep it for very long. Once again, these enemies where a series of buttons pops up on the screen when you're attacking them, those are the brawler enemies. You have to hit all of those buttons successfully in order to defeat them. If you miss any of them, they can hit you back and cause damage. That ruins your chances at getting a perfect, and it also ruins your streak and stuff. Another thing I should talk about really quickly are the unlockable abilities. Periodically you'll get a new sort of feat that you can unlock from the main screen. So far I have 2 of them. One of them gives me 3 throwing daggers instead of just 1 when I pick up throwing daggers, and the other one gives me 3 arrows when I pick up a bow instead of just 1 arrow. There's also a ton of Steam achievements for this game. Some of my favorites include getting really high combos with the death ball. Man, I actually did pretty terrible at that stage. I got hit a whole bunch and I missed a whole bunch, but anyway, you're starting to see what the game is like and if it'll actually be something you want to play or not. I definitely think it's pretty cool, and I'd definitely recommend giving it a try at least. It's not very expensive, it's only $5 on Steam. It was actually $4 for a while when it first came out. And I'd say that for that price especially, it's definitely worth checking out. This game just has this incredible way of making you feel like a kung fu badass without actually having to do a whole lot. But at the same time, this game isn't exactly easy. You get a real feeling of progression just by learning as you play and getting better as you get more skilled and practice more. And yes, I am slightly obsessed with the death ball mechanic, and I definitely went back to a couple levels that give you a death ball pretty early on and tried to make my way through the entire stage with a death ball. which is harder than you'd think. It seems to get faster and faster every time you hit it, making it harder and harder to time your hits right to keep it on screen. If you miss it just once, it's gone. I usually don't like going back and playing the same stages in games over and over again, especially if I just did them. But the stages in this are over so quickly that it's not really a problem. And it helps that the gameplay is fun and engaging. It should serve as a pretty high recommendation that even I didn't mind going back and replaying some of those stages over and over and over again, just trying to get better scores and just trying to fulfill little miniature tasks like my thing with the death ball. Oh, and by the way, this was just me showing that there is a survival mode in the game, but that I haven't unlocked it yet, so I don't know exactly what that's all about. But anyway, this video's over, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye, and thanks for watching. See you next time.